So this entire unit is going to be about how to organize your Google Drive. I'm going to take you through a series of steps. I'm going to talk to you about how to get that huge, messy drive organized. Let's first talk about how to find your Google Drive. And you find your Google Drive by going up to what's called the apps drawer. I often call it the waffle because if you take a look at it, it kind of looks a little like a waffle up there. If you scroll around here, you are looking for something that says Drive. By the way, if you go to your Drive a lot, you can actually click it and drag it and stick it right up near the top. But we're going to click on Drive, and when we do, the Drive's going to open up. Chances are your Drive looks a lot like this, but you know you've done this right if your Drive is just basically a list of this. You might have some folders in there already. The folders and the organization are what we're going to talk about. So find your Drive, get it open. So for this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to organize your Google Drive. And what you're going to find is that your Google Drive probably looks something like this, long piles of documents with no particular way of finding anything. And maybe if I remember what the title is, I'll search it up or do some trick by using the date. And I know those are handy little tricks, but it's way, way better for your academic success and actually for your success in school. You have this nicely organized. The first thing we're going to do together is we are going to put in some folders for all of your classes. So what you need to do in a separate window is you're going to have to go open up your schedule. So pull up your PowerSchool schedule. This is a generic one that I'm going to use as an example, but your job is you're going to go right to what I would consider a mastery check. I'm going to do this for this generic user, and you need to do this for your individual users. So get ready, pull up your PowerSchool schedule, and make sure that that's open in one screen and that you have your Drive open in the other. Do that and go on to the next part of the video. So the next thing we got to work on is we got to create some folders, because for us to put everything away, you got to have a bucket to put it in, right? When you think about organizations, you want to kind of have things in boxes. It's a great way to organize things. We call them folders because once upon a time, folders existed in file spaces and we'd put physical papers inside of folders. We're going to use the same model here. We're going to create folders. What kind of folders are we going to create? Well, remember I told you to open up your PowerSchool schedule? Well, here's the PowerSchool schedule, and we're going to make a folder called Digital Media for Influence. We're going to go over here to New, going to go to New Folder, and call it Digital Media for Influence. All right, and then one by one, we're going to go through this Intro to Art I don't have to make right now because I'm not taking that class, but go to Financial Algebra. We'll put that in. New folder, Financial Algebra. And so your job is to go through each one of the courses that you're taking right now, and you're going to make a folder for each one of those. You don't have to make it for the folders that you don't have unless you feel the need to. All right, ready? Good luck. And then when you're all done, come back and we'll do the next page of the video. So the next thing you want to do is color code your folders, because when you get a lot of folders in here, they get really hard to find. It's much easier, it triggers the brain if you've got colors going on in there. Now, if your color vision is limited, you can skip that step. If you're someone who happens to categorize themselves as colorblind, this may be less helpful to you. I will show you an alternative for that. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to Organize, and I can go ahead and make chemistry blue. I can go to Digital Media for Influence, Organize, I can make that red. English Language Arts, go to Organize, I can make that green. Well, let's do Financial Algebra. We'll call that one green because, you know, we think about money, right? So we'll make money green. And then under English Language Arts, we'll change that color and we will make that one orange. And then go Intro to Marketing, Organize, and we will make that one yellow. We'll go to Spanish for Heritage Speakers, Organize. We will make that one this color blue here. And then we go to U.S. History, and we go to Organize, I'll make this kind of a deep blue. Yeah, I'll go back because I want the blue for that, so I'll go back here and I'll make chemistry brown. So now I've kind of color-coded it. But what if I can't see colors? How am I going to deal with that? I can also go in here and I can name them by period. So if you look, Digital Media for Influence is actually my first period class. So I can go in here and go to rename, right? And I can call it 1-. And now look what happens. It actually puts it up at the top. My period 2 class is financial algebra. So I will go in here to rename financial algebra and rename. And I will go 2-, etc. And so what I'm going to do is, just because I can, I'm going to organize it both by color and by period. You can pick one or the other or both, by color or by number, period number, or both. But I want you to give your folders an organization, and then we're going to fill them in a minute. All right? Good luck. Now, one of the important organizational pieces around this is actually having something called subfolders. And I'm going to pick 2 of these in my example to show you subfolders. But most of the time when you're working in a class, you're going to have some things that are like notes and homework or in classwork, and then you might have big projects that you want to keep separate. Or you might have a project with a lot of other resources that you might want to put in a folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click inside of financial algebra. And inside of financial algebra, I can put in a new folder that says FineAlg homework. All right, financial algebra homework, right? I can create a new one in there. And then I can put in financial algebra notes, right? So I can have them in there. I could color code them. I usually don't have to color code inside of something, but when the drive gets really busy, I like the color coding out there. It's up to you, but you have to put those folders in there. And I'm going to do it for 2 of them. So let me show you. I'm going to do it one more time for inside of history, because I'm going to go in here and I'm going to have, I know I'm going to have history presentations and projects. So I'm going to have history presentations and projects, and then I'm going to put in history notes. So when you go back to my drive, and you go back to my drive, you can click my drive or my drive up here. Inside of financial algebra, I've got 2 folders, and inside of my drive, inside of history, I've got 2 folders. So go ahead and make a couple of subfolders where you know you're going to be able to split up your subject. Maybe that's math, maybe that's social studies, maybe that's English. Maybe your English teacher gives you notes that you take, and then maybe your English teacher has you do projects, so separate those out. Or maybe in your English class you might want to separate out some of the work you do for reading and some of the work you do for no red ink. You might want to split it up depending on the kinds of work that you do. All right? So good luck. Get that organized. 2 subfolders inside of at least 2 subjects. 2 subfolders inside of 2 subjects. All right, good luck. So let's start moving some of our files into our folders, clean up this desktop. So when I go over here to the 4 C's of marketing, well, I'm willing to bet that that's a part of my Intro to Marketing course. I happen to know that, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click or press the Control key and click. When you right-click, it's got an option called Organize, and you go to Move. And when it comes in there, look what it brings up. It actually brings up my drive with suggestions, right? I click on it, I'm going to go to Intro to Marketing, and I click Move. And that's it. Look, it goes away. I know I did that fast. Let's try it again. Right-click, Organize, Move. It actually suggested marketing because that's the last place I went to. Now, the next thing, let's skip to a couple of these. One of them is algebra class. Now I can go in here, organize, move, and that is for algebra class. So I'm going to go over to financial algebra notes, well, what if I went into, go to my drive, I can go into financial algebra, and then I can go into, that's my class, so that's notes. I go right to notes. And if you look inside of financial algebra, it's not there, it's there. It moves it in there for you. So you're going to have to take a minute, and I want you to go through as many of those and get some of them, or move at least 10 or 15 of them into some folders, and then come back for the next step. So now I've gotten down to this thing where it says chemistry project, and it actually looks like I got a project here and a presentation and a group project. So I'm going to go ahead and go try to move this guy right here, and I'm going to just do something funky. I'm going to show you another way to get it in there. I go to chemistry project online. I'm like, oh, okay, these are some notes. Now I know that this is a biology presentation, so I'm not trying to teach really solid science here. I'm just trying to show you how to move files in a document. So stay with me, okay? Pretend this is chemistry. I'll change it to chemistry. And pretend this is talking about phosphates instead of cell mitosis. Now, if you go up to here, where it says move, okay, it says move right here, that's another way to talk about organize. And I can go into chemistry, and wait a second, if I'm in chemistry, I don't have a folder for my project. I go right down to here where it says new folder, I click on it, I can call this chemistry project, and I can go ahead and drop that in there. Now, if I go back to my drive, chemistry project outline, is it in there? Chemistry project outline. So go back to my drive, and it is gone. It just took a second to come off of that. Let's go to chemistry group presentation. I can go to organize, move, and as a matter of fact, it suggests chemistry project because it's the most recent thing I did. Chemistry group project, organize, move, and I could go into chemistry and into chemistry project, and I could drop it in that way as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go through all of these, English project, organize, move. I'm going to look into all locations, my drive. I'm going to go to English language arts. I need to just put it in there, a folder called project, and I'm just going to drop it in. And I put it in a second folder. Organize, move, English project, move. There you go. History chapter notes. See now, organize, move, and U.S. history, history notes, drop it. Day by day. Wait a second. What do we have here? Leg day domination. I haven't even taken the class yet. You'll notice strength and conditioning. I haven't even taken the class yet, but here we are. They're handing me, maybe a friend of mine who's taken the class this semester shared it with me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to leg day domination. And I'm going to go to organize. I'm going to go to move. I'm going to go to my drive. I'm going to actually create one called strength and conditioning. And I'm just going to drop that right in there. I made a whole new folder. Look what I did. Made a whole new folder just by doing it. So your job right now is to go through all of this stuff and get all this stuff put away into folders. So get all your loose files. It's going to take you a minute. Get all your loose files put neatly into folders. Good luck. So now what do? Here I was minding my own business, and I come up against this file that says Notes 1. I bet you have files that say Untitled, right? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open them up. Once you open them up, you realize, oh, there's a bunch of chemistry notes. I know it's another one of my fake files. This actually is biology notes. But the bottom line is this is how you rename a file. So stay with me. If you click right up here, I'm actually going to call this Chemistry Notes. And what's even smarter is I'm going to say April 8, just so I have some kind of an idea. And if I click on it, right, once I go back to my drive, I can even close this, right? And then if I refresh this, it says Chemistry Notes April 8. See how that happened? So what you want to do is you want to go make sure that they all have meaningful names. Every once in a while you see something that says Untitled. It says Untitled, open it up, figure out what it is, give it a meaningful name, and then go in here, organize, move, and look for where it says all locations, my drive, chemistry, and I actually don't have a place for my notes, so I'm going to make a folder called Chem Notes, and I'm going to stick it right in there. And that moves my Chem Notes. Look, I have just one more left in here, Spanish Notes. We already know that we have Spanish notes going on in that class, and I'm going to go over to my drive, and Spanish for Heritage Speakers, and I don't have anything in that folder, so I'll just drop that in there. So there are my folders, including things I don't already have. What if I belong to a club and they're handing me resources because I need my calendar of events for when I'm marching with the honor guard, or where I need the game schedule for the baseball team or whatever it is, or the softball team or whatever I need. Well, you go ahead and make another folder for your club or your team or whatever organization you belong to, and just keep your stuff in there. And this is a lot easier when it comes to finding things than just this 19 pages of scrolling nonsense that you can't ever find a document again. Which one of my untitled documents is it? Nope, give it all meaningful names. Your job is to get all that organized. So how am I going to know you got this done? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to turn in screenshots. What's a screenshot? Well, there's something called a screen capture, and it allows you to capture this entire screen as a picture. And you make a screenshot by holding down the Control, Shift, and this key right here on your Chromebook, and that will allow you to capture a screenshot. So what you're going to do is you're going to give me 3 screenshots. One is going to be of all your pretty folders all put in here, showing that they're organized and showing that there's nothing underneath them. And then I want you to grab a second screenshot of at least one of your subfolders right in here, and a third one. And I know US History has subfolders. So show me 1 screenshot and 2 subfolders. With subfolders, rather. 1 screenshot and 2 with subfolders. If I get 3 of those, what happens is when I do this, I will make a screenshot. It's a little bit different on a Mac, but I'll go ahead and I'll do that screenshot, and I'll go ahead and drop this in, and I'll make my screenshot. There's one of my subfolders, and then if I go back up, I will go over to, I know that US History has one, so I'll make my 3 shots, and then I'm going to go over to Google, you go over to Schoology and you submit the 3 images. When you submit the 3 images, I will use the rubric, this rubric right here. This rubric is how we're going to identify it. I'm looking for color-coded folders, everything moved into correct subject folders, and I removed unnecessary files, and I created logical subfolders. So I'm looking for the pretty color-coded folders that you've moved all your stuff, and then at least 2 of them have subfolders. That's what I'm looking for. Good luck.